Hello and welcome to Ask the Source. I'm your host, Josh Reinstein. We're here on a beautiful sunny day on our rooftop studio in Jerusalem. My guest today is Natanel Barak. He is professor at the Israel Institute of Biblical Studies. Natanel, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell our viewers a little bit about what is the Israel Institute of Biblical Studies.
Israel Institute of Biblical Studies is the leading and largest online school for Bible studies. We teach all kinds of courses related to biblical languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, and also courses dealing with the context of the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, the Jewish background of the New Testament, exploring the biblical lens, and so forth, all in order to enable our students to get in touch from the comfort of their own home with the deep understanding of the Hebrew.
It's very interesting, this is a new phenomenon. Christians who believe in the Bible all over the world are studying Hebrew. They're learning the language of their forefathers. Why do you think this is happening?
That's a very important question. In order to understand the message of the Bible, in order to understand the everlasting truths of the Bible, one has to understand the medium that the Bible uses. And learning the Bible is a multidisciplinary endeavor. It involves many areas of studies. It involves history, poetry, geography, and even sometimes climate. But above all, one has to understand the language of the Hebrew Bible. The language is by far the most important component on the way to understanding the Bible. I would even go as far as saying that without a deep understanding of the Hebrew, one cannot understand the Bible. It would be like learning about the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence without understanding English.
Prayer is a very important part of the lives of people who believe in the Bible. And originally people were learning Hebrew to study the Bible, but now Bible and Christians are praying in Hebrew for the first time in 2,000 years. Why is this significant?
Oh, this is a very good question. It is very significant both as far as the practice of the prayer and the idea of prayer, because the practice of praying in Hebrew is connecting you to the Jewish roots and is making you part of this channel and conduit of your fathers, forefathers, Moses, Abraham, and even Jesus, who spoke Hebrew and Aramaic. Moreover, the concept of prayer in Hebrew is an amazing concept. The word tefillah is related to judgment. Pei lamed lamed has to do with judgment, and it is introspective judgment. You judge yourself and you judge the actions of God in order to change the world. Like Jacob was fighting with the angel. Being an Israelite and praying is trying to change the world through this channel of prayer.
It used to be that people who wanted to learn languages, it took them years. It was very hard to learn. But you've developed a system where you can basically sit anywhere with your laptop, with your iPhone, and learn in a very short period of time. How were you able to develop such a process that turns someone who doesn't know anything about Hebrew into a Hebrew speaker within 9 months?
It's an amazing question. Really, what we do is we let the students engage with the Hebrew very early on. We dedicate the first 2 weeks to introducing the Hebrew alphabet, and then the students are immersed in the holy water of biblical Hebrew, so to speak, and the professors make sure nobody drowns, right? And besides being a biblical Hebrew teacher and a Bible collector, I'm also a captain in the IDF. In the IDF, we have this motto, nobody is left behind. So we at the Israel Institute of Biblical Studies apply this motto not just to the battlefield, but also to the classroom.
Natanel, give us a concrete example of how learning the Bible in Hebrew is different from learning it in a different language.
I think the most basic and most intuitive answer would be related to the names in the Bible. All the names in the Hebrew Bible, starting from Genesis all the way to Chronicles, and even in the New Testament, can only be understood in Hebrew. Let's take, for example, the first two names of the Bible, Adam and Eve. So in English, they have no meaning, none whatsoever, but in Hebrew, they are so loaded with meaning. Adam, or Adam in Hebrew, is related to the word Adamah, earth or soil, because Adam was made of the soil, of the ground, of the earth. And it is also related to the word Dam, which is blood, because according to biblical law and biblical perception, the blood is the essence of human life. Same goes for Eve, or Chava. In English has no meaning, but in Hebrew it is ample with meaning. The meaning of Chava is actually threefold. First, it has to do with life. She whose profession is giving life. Secondly, it has to do with the word chivya, which means a snake. And thirdly, it has to do with expressing one's opinion by giving an advice. Now, all of these meanings are crucial to the understanding of the story of Adam and Eve. Without understanding those, one cannot understand the concept of the story. And it applies also to many common American names. Josh, for instance, or David, or Michael, Sarah, Mary, Susan. All of these are Hebrew names, and they can only be understood in the context of the Hebrew. Naturally, as we go deeper into the grammar of the Hebrew, we see more complex examples, such as the paradigm-shifting perception of time, which gives you a different understanding of what is time. And this is an amazing experience, and it can only be understood in the Hebrew.
Natanel, there are literally tens of millions of people watching this show. What message do you have for our viewing audience?
I think that this is an amazing opportunity to learn Hebrew. This is an amazing way of doing that, and I've been personally blessed by seeing so many people of different countries, of different faiths, of different ages, learning and becoming Hebrew readers. Just last week I had a student celebrating his 84th birthday in class. The only downside of it was that we couldn't share the cake as it was online. And so you can get, out of the comfort of your own home and according to your availability, very intimate and very understanding of the Hebrew Bible and of the Bible in general.
Thank you, Natanel, for being on the show, and thank you for tuning in to Ask the Source. I'm your host, Josh Reinstein. Now back to the studio.